Today we will be working on AS level Edexcel IT. We'll start with the unit 1, that is International Advanced Subsidiary or Advanced level. So now you will be having a total mark for this paper is 80. So if you are aiming for the A grade, you have to make sure you at least get 50% of this. So maybe around 40 or 45. So we have to check the cutoff. So based on the cutoff, you can plan your grades. So here, the first question goes, it's an MCQ question. You have to mark the answers with the cross inside those boxes. So let us go for the first question. That is, a local government agency uses information technology in its operations. Employees can work from the office, from home, or on the move. Employees store the access files using a local area network LAN. Identify the type of the storage used. So these are the options given A, B, C, D. So you have to pick one among them. So now the keywords what you have to focus in over here is that is store, and the other one is access file in the presence of LAN, that is. So now let us look at the first option that says HDMI. So HDMI, what's the full form of it? So it's high definition multimedia interface. So this is basically used for video and audio. It is not for the storing and accessing the files. So obviously the first option strikes out. Next option is NAS. NAS is nothing but network attached storage. So it's just like a Google Drive where you're storing all your files. So you can store as well as access those files in the local area networks. So obviously to do this, you need to have a network attached storage. So the B option is the correct one. But still we will check what's with C and D. RAID is nothing but it's redundant array of inexpressive disk. We use it in multiple hard disk where they are made into one logical disk. Option D, that is SSID. SSID is nothing but it's a server set identifier. It's just the name of your Wi-Fi network. So the best suitable option is D. Let's go for the next one. Employees can work from home or on the move using online environment with the access to the internet. They can store and access the files in the cloud. State two other ways employees can work together to collaborate in the online environment. So here, whenever they give the Roman number 1 and 2 like this, so basically whatever the second question will be there, it will be interlinked with the first one. So it's the same scenario. So obviously in the same scenario earlier we were talking about the Google Drive, right? So considering that aspect, let's figure out the answer. So now one thing is already given, that is they can store and access the files inside the cloud. Okay, so now we need to check with the other two ways. So what is the first way? We can talk about the people working on the same document. You can also share it. People can edit in the same document, and that changes also you can see. So basically we can tell that working on the same document collaboratively at the same time. You can also use the emails or shared storage to exchange the files or data. So these are the two ways. The other thing is you can use this voice over internet protocol. You can also go for video conferencing to hold the meetings. You can also use the instant messaging or chat applications to exchange the messages. But this, you can pick any of this and go for it. So whatever is easy for you to remember. So I'll go with the first one as working on the same document collaborate. Next one, you can go for use email or shared storage to exchange files. So the next question is, employees are encouraged to be members of professional online communities. Give one positive and one negative impact of employees using online communities during the work time. So now we already discussed what are the pros of online communities, what exactly happens in the online communities. So now we have to discuss about one positive and one negative impact of using this online community. So suppose if employees are facing any problem, if you are in the online community, it is very easy to get help from the other community members. You can be up to date regarding the new products or some news. So I'll go for getting the help with the problems from other community members. So now what's the negative impact? So sometimes employees will reveal some company's sensitive information, or sometimes they will end up finding other employment opportunities, or sometimes obviously online means there will be a lot of distraction. Distraction ends up wasting time. So you can pick any one of them and write it as the negative impact. Next question is, the local government agency is concerned about the moral and the ethical issues associated with the use of information technology. It collects and stores data about people. Explain one reason people may be concerned that the agency collects and stores data about them. So whenever such question comes, you always keep yourself in their shoe and then imagine a person is approaching you and collecting your information. Definitely, you will be having a second thought that whether my information will be safe or not. So, what are those thoughts comes to your mind whenever such people approach you? You always think that maybe our data can be used for malicious or unauthorized hacking because you are not sure whether these data will be stored securely or not, or you will end up getting a thought like maybe this data could be shared to the third parties where that agency is not adhere to data protection laws. There are possibilities like these agencies can create the personal profiles to automate the decision making. So these are the possibilities. So you can pick any one of them. So now over here, it is 2 marks. So you have to make sure you write two key points, not only just one, two key points. So you can write it in this way, the data can be used for malicious behaviors or unauthorized hacking. This will give you 1 mark. And why that will happen? Because it is not stored securely. That will give you another mark. So the answer goes in this way. If you want, you can write it in the bullet points, or if you want, you can write it in the form of statements too. Even that is okay. There is another possibility like if you are really confident that yes, I am right for this question, then you can underline this important words. It's not mandatory, it's just an optional. Inclusion is an ethical concern associated with the use of information technology systems. Describe what is meant by the term inclusion in the context of information technology system. So here the question says that inclusion is related to the ethical concern associated with the IT systems. So now what exactly is this inclusion? That is what we have to explain. So inclusion is nothing but it's regarding providing the equal access to all the devices or the data or the resources, regardless of whatever the personal circumstance can be. Personal circumstance means you can also consider regarding economic, race, age, gender, disability, region, sexual orientation, or the cultural beliefs. Or you can also provide special facilities for accessing this information technology to people with circumstances regarding their economic race, gender, disability, religion, sexual orientation, or cultural beliefs. So you can write one is regarding regardless of personal circumstances, another one is with personal circumstances. So we can write any one of them. Next question is, the local government agency uses the internet and the World Wide Web to carry out its business. Complete the table to identify the network metrics described in the first column. So this is like they already gave a description. You need to find what exactly is that. So the first one is a measure of number of bits that are transferred incorrectly. So the network metric for this statement is error. The time delay between a data packet leaving a source device and arriving at the destination. So that is called as latency. A measure of capacity of a communication channel. So that we measure it as a bandwidth. The variation in times between the packets arriving at the destination. That is called as jitter. So please remember these terms. So if you write all of them correctly, you will be fetching up 4 marks. Identify which one of these is a feature of World Wide Web. The first option is email. So now here we are talking about the World Wide Web's feature. Email is just an application that uses this protocol, the internet protocol, to send the emails. Okay. So that option just strikes out. Routers are basically used for connecting the local area network. That is nothing, it doesn't have any feature of World Wide Web. Next is TCP or IP. It is a communication protocol that is basically used on the internet. So now when it comes to World Wide Web, obviously when all the three options are striked out, it's understandable that the URL is the feature of World Wide Web. Organizations connect devices to networks. Networks are protected by the variety of security measures. Complete the table to identify the encryption technique that matches each description. So again, they have gave the description. You need to figure out what it is. So now here, the first description goes as the sender and the receiver use a shared key to encrypt and decrypt a message. So there will be just only one key that is used for encryption as well as the description. So this method is basically called as the sender uses a public key to encrypt a message and the receiver uses the private key. Whenever the two keys comes on thrown, you just understand that it is asymmetric encryption. Some anti-malware software uses a database of known malware signatures to identify the malicious software. Describe one other way anti-malware software could identify this malicious software. So now basically we need to tell that what is the other way so that this malicious software can be detected. So how this malicious software will get installed into your system? Suppose you are clicking on the links. So in that case, these malicious softwares will get downloaded into your system. So now if your system should detect this, then what are the things you have to use? You can either use this anti-malware softwares, then you can go for this firewalls. So now what exactly happens when you use these anti-malware software? These basically have this heuristic set of rules that will help you to figure out or identify this malicious behavior. That is your other way. So now Here, this is 2-mark question. So the first thing is heuristic set of rules. So these heuristic set of rules will give you 1 mark. And then why do you use these heuristic set of rules? What happens exactly? It will help you to identify the malicious behavior into the system. So this will give you 2 mark. As mentioned earlier, you can just highlight the important words that will add value to your answer. So the next question is, the first floor of a building has a meeting room, a break room, and a server room. Wireless connectivity is available in the meeting room but not in the break room. The printer does not support the wireless connection. The device uses a variety of connectivity protocols. Complete the diagram on the next page by adding a single line between the devices that communicate with each other, a label on the line stating the network communication protocol. Okay, let us go for the next page and check the question. Okay. This is the design here. This is the break room. This is the server room. And this is your meeting room. So let us solve one by one. Phone mast is nothing but it is just like a cellular tower. So now definitely phone mast is connected to the phone. So let us draw a line. So what kind of network is this? This is cellular. Now next, smart bulb. Smart bulb is connected to the smart hub. So from that's where it is being controlled. So this basically the smart hub and the smart bulb communication is achieved by using Zigbee. Zigbee is a kind of a Bluetooth, so that will help you to control your smart all things. And there is a smart lock. Definitely, again, the smart lock is controlled by the smart hub controller, and then again it is controlled by the Zigbee. The smart hub controller is controlled by this wireless access point. Definitely, it needs to have a Wi-Fi. You don't need to connect the Ethernet point to your phone. You can access the Wi-Fi. So the protocol will be Wi-Fi. Then the server room is having servers. The servers definitely require a wired connection. So wired connection means it will be using Ethernet. And there is one more condition that printer is not connected wireless. If it is not connected wireless, definitely it is connected to Ethernet. Projector can be connected to wireless access point using Wi-Fi. Now printer is connected to laptop using USB. The projector is connected to a laptop using HDMI cable, and then laptop is connected to wireless access point using Wi-Fi, and you can control the projector on and off using infrared. You can connect to the headphones. One is you can go for wireless connection, the other one you can go for wired connection. So you can either connect it using Bluetooth or USB. The same thing goes with the mouse. You can connect it via Bluetooth or USB. Again, window blinds, you can control it using the remote that uses infrared. Okay, I guess we covered everything. So it is 10 marks. Make sure you at least draw the 10. After meeting with a client, an accountant rests in a local park. She has a smartphone and a laptop with her. She needs to store her meeting notes in cloud. The notes are on her laptop. Describe how she can use her device to store her meeting notes in the cloud. So now there is a scenario where a girl has to store her meeting notes inside a cloud. She is having a smartphone and a laptop. Definitely whenever it comes regarding the cloud, we need internet. So you can access the internet using your smartphone. So for that, you need to have your cellular network. If you have a cellular network, then you can turn on your mobile hotspot. With the mobile hotspot, you can easily access the cloud and you can store the notes inside it. So that's what you have to frame the sentence and write here. Bookstore uses network and software application. Figure 1 shows a partial table from the database belonging to the owner of the bookstore. So these are these three tables. So now we need to complete the table to give the field name and the key described. Based on that, we need to figure out the field names. So now the first one is table employee and it's a primary key. So let us move for the table employee table. Okay, over here, which is the primary keys? So primary key means what? Something that is unique. The whatever the values are there inside that column, it has to be unique. So what unique we can expect? Address can be same, postcode can be same, the rate can be same, but the employee number will be unique. So we can consider the employee number as the primary key. Make sure the way it is written here, please write it in the same way. Next is table store, and then we need to figure out the primary key from the table store. So table store is here. So here address again it can be same, postcode it can be same, but the store number will be different. So let us go for the store number as a primary key. Next is table shift. From table shift you need to figure out what is the foreign key. So foreign key, when it becomes a primary key from one table, when it goes to the different table, it becomes a foreign key. It's not required to have a unique values. It can also have a duplicate values in it. So now over here, so now from the table shift, the foreign key, and also we can have multiple foreign keys. It's not like it has to be only one foreign key. You can have multiple foreign keys. So now the foreign keys, it can be store, it can also be an employee. So this store and employees, this store is nothing but it's a store number, and employee is the from the table employee, it is a primary key. So when it moved to the table shift, it become a foreign key. So you can consider both of them as a foreign key. So I will write store, comma, employee. So the next one is composite key. So now composite key is nothing but it is a combination of two or more columns that will uniquely identify a record inside the database table. So now what are these two or more columns? Employee is the one you can easily identify the database, and then you can also go with the start time, or else you can also go with the date. So these three columns will help you that gives the unique identification of a record. The employee field in table employee must be 6-digit long. One possible value for employee number is 062833. Explain one reason the employee field cannot be assigned a data type of integer. So now when we are talking about the assigning the data type of integer, integers cannot start with 0. They can start with other numbers, but they can't start with 0. So now for that, what we have to do? See here, the possible value of employee code is 062833. So they want to start with the 0. Sometimes it can also be different number, but 0 is obviously gonna be there. So in those cases, what we have to do to avoid dropping of any of the values, we need to change the data type to strings, or you can also assign it as a characters. So that's one of the reason it cannot be assigned as an integer. So now over here, figure 2 shows a different set of tables from the database belonging to the owner of the two bookstores. So there are two tables here, the table book, and over here table DVD. So now we need to refer this two tables to answer our next questions. So write an SQL statement that returns a set of unique titles available in one or both formats. You need to get the titles from both the tables. Let us go and have a look on both the tables. Here there is a title and here there is a title. So we need to get both these titles from both the tables. So now two different tables are there. You are trying to bring all the titles together. This together is called as union. We call it as union. So we need to write a SQL statement by joining these two tables. First, you need to select the field name and then define from which table. So let's write as so these. Let us check what's exactly the name of the table is. Based on that, you can use it. Okay, it's a table book underscore. This is table underscore DVD. Okay, let us change it accordingly. The next question is write an SQL statement that returns the total number of books published in 1965 or later. So here it is clearly written like total number of books. So total, whenever you want to count. So total number means what you will be counting like 1, 2, 3, 4. How many books are there? So that total, if you want to do, you have to use the keyword that is count. And then there is condition. The condition is it has to be greater than 1965, means whatever the books are there, it has to be published on 1965 or uh, after 1965. Okay, so the SQL statement goes in this way. So now I'm writing it as asterisk here. Asterisk is nothing but whatever the entire record is there from the field, it will count everything. Table underscore book. Now condition, to write a condition you need to write where published. So this must be the name of the field. So let us check here. The name of the field is published. Let us write it the same way. Where published must be greater than or equal to 1965 01 01. Let us check it from the January counted. So this will give you the total number of books published. So a bookstore is located in a smart city. Explain one benefit of a smart city to customers when shopping for books inside the bookstore. So over here in the bookstore, there are lots of books where these books are from different vendors. So they can compare the prices of the goods, and then they will be getting the vouchers from the bookstores. And then as these customers are using that city's Wi-Fi, and they can scan the QR code on those physical books for informations, because these customers will be using the internet, that only that city can access. So that you can mention as one of the benefit. The owner of the bookstore needs stock control software. Discuss the benefits and drawback to the bookstore owner of using open source and proprietary software. So now, for this is the 6 marks question. So over here, you can write the three benefits and drawback of using the open source, and then three benefits and drawback of proprietary software. This will fetch you 6 marks. So now let us first write regarding the open source. So when it comes to the open source softwares are basically free. So there won't be any monetary charges. So if there is no charges, then there is no benefits, right? One benefit is like it is open source. So anybody can access it. Drawback is that there is no charge, there is no benefits for the bookstore, because there is no monetary charge for it. So that would be one of the benefit as well as the drawback. You can write it in this one in the form of bullet points. So in the open source, there will be some technical support given by the owner if there is some any difficulties or if they find some bugs, but this support is not guaranteed. That you can consider as a second benefit and drawback of open source. How many members has to use these software? This limitation will won't be there for the open source softwares. So you can add that as your third point. Next thing is regarding proprietary. So these proprietary softwares, these are like a closed source. If you want any modification, that won't be possible in the proprietary software. So if some problem arises in this proprietary software, if you need any technical support, then the owner will allow access for the helpline or some online knowledge that's provided by the vendor. So that you can consider as a second form. So many people in this world uses this proprietary software. So owner can easily find the websites with hints or tips that will help them to work. The construction industry uses information technology systems. All IT systems must be fit for purpose before they are released. Give two measures of fitness for purpose of an IT system. So, whenever these IT systems are released, there are some test cases that will be conducted. So, to check the performance of the systems. So, for that, they have to meet all the criteria that is set out for analysis, requirements, design, all these phases. And then there will be some test cases. They have to pass all the test cases before the system development starts. So, what are these test cases? These test cases can be a test plan, usability test, accessibility test, and security test. So, let us write both these points over here. A carpenter is a member of an online professional community. A carpenter logs onto the community website. The carpenter sees a targeted advertisement for 50% off nails at the shop near the carpenter's location. Describe the process that the delivers the advertisement. So the carpenter is having this online professional community. So whenever the carpenters log on to this community website, so there are some targeted advertisements. So now whenever you open the website too, so you can see that there are some ads regarding a 50% of sale is there. So how exactly this happens? So that is what the question is. The process that delivers the advertisement. So now basically whenever you go into any websites, so it will you get a pop-up window where it will ask you to accept the cookies. So once you accept the cookies, these cookies are sent to the third party advertisement providers. So these advertisement providers will display these ads over the websites. So this is what you have to explain based on the scenario given here regarding the carpenter. So what you can tell, a cookie is stored inside the carpenter's PC. So whenever the carpenter logs on, the cookies are sent to the third party advertisement provider. A plumber uses a search engine to find a local firm renting small diggers. The search results are ordered. The top research results are shown in the figure. Tool Place hire same day collection. Operating for over 40 years, branches across the Northeast. Check out our websites. And the second one is top brands at high tools, click and collect. We offer more than tools here. Top brands offer paying now 15% off. So now the question is, explain one way this form of monetization works. So for this question, let us imagine the YouTube. So now whenever we are playing any videos, you get an ads over there. You get ads before our video starts. So in those cases, how these things work. So over here, when you look at this figure 3, you can see this as an ad. So this ad appears near the hyperlink. So because these advertisers pay the owner of the web page or the search engine to show that link. So that is nothing but it's a form of monetization. So sometimes these advertisers pay to the publishers or a search engine because this pumper clicks on the advertisement hyperlinks. So that is again considered to be as a part of monetization. So you can write any one. An e-commerce company rents equipments to the construction trade via its website. A customer must register before renting equipments. So this is the registration page. This entire thing is a registration page. A bank registration form is displayed. The customer completes the form by adding first name, last name, and email address. Pressing the cancel button ends the registration process, and pressing the submit button submits the form for validation and processing. If there is an error on the form, an error message is shown, the customer can retry. The customer can try again. If the email address is already registered, an error message is shown, the email address is not accepted, and the customer can try again. If there is not an error on the form, a new registration record is stored on the company's database. A unique registration number is generated for the new customer. The customer is shown the unique registration number. Draw a flow chart using the correct symbols to show the process of registration on the website. So now they already gave you the entire scenario, what happens. So based on the same thing, we have to draw the flow chart of this system. So first, let us start. So I will write as start. Once it starts, it shows the form. So showing the form is input. So let us write it like this. Now let's go back to the question and check here. Okay, so the first one is what? Pressing the cancel button ends the registration process and closes the form. So now, if you press the cancel button, so this is something, a decision. So decisions has to be defined using the diamond, or you can also call it as rhombus. So I will write as is cancel pressed. So if it is pressed, so let us call this as yes. If it is pressed, then what happens? It stops. The entire system stops. If it is no, then it will check the next one, that is pressing the submit button, submits the form for validation and processing. So now let us call for the submit button. So now again, this is a decision. So you have to check is submit. If it is yes, then it will go for validation. So validation is a process. You have to define it using the rectangle. So validation. If the submit is not pressed, that is no, it is not pressed. In those cases, it will go back to the same place where it is still showing the form. So now let's check after that. If there is an error on the form, so after pressing the submit button, if there is any error on the form, means again it's a question mark. Again something that is put inside the decision box. So while validating, you will check any errors. This is the third one. So an error message is shown. So if there is some error, yes. If there is error, it will show the error message. If there is no error, then the customer can try again. So if it is yes, it will show is an output. So output also should be written in parallelogram. If it is no, so customer can try again. So try again, in that sense, it will check the database whether it consists a duplicate email or not. So now, so that checking is again a process. So check After that, the next one is check whether the email address is already registered. So we need to check whether it is registered. So now checking, whenever check comes, again it's a decision. So decisions has to be written inside the Wombus. So if the user is already registered, then what happens? The error message is shown. There is this box already written here. So if it is yes, it will show the error message. If it is no, then what happens? Email address is not accepted and the customer can try again. If there is no registration, so then in that case, what it will do is it will add that thing to the record. So it will basically create a new record because the user doesn't exist. Add record to database. So adding is nothing but it's a process. So the process has to be written inside the rectangle. So now once that is done, if there is no error on the form, the new registration record is stored on the company's database, then it will unique registration number is generated. So registration number is generated. So that is again a process. Then a customer is shown a unique registration number. Showing is it's an output. So and then after that he can stop it. Cancel is pressed, then what should happen? Obviously it has to stop. So let us take it down to the stop. So now whenever it shows the error message, it means what? The entire process is starting from the beginning. So whatever this show error is there, let us direct it over here at the beginning. So that the entire process you have to do it from the beginning. So this is the flow chart for the scenario given. A local equipment hire company keeps information about customer stock items and rental transaction. About customer stock items and rental transaction. Alice is a customer. So Alice is customer. She wants to know how much she owns. She provides her customer number to the company. The company generates a list of unpaid rentals. So now this figure 5 is given that consists a table. Complete the data flow diagram to generate a list by adding data stores and label data flows. So the sum part of this table is already done. So there is a customer number is generated and there is a list, generated list. That list is regarding the customer details. Customer unpaid flag. So now if you want to know what all details are needed for to check the rented from the list whatever is been provided, from that you need that is stock ID and due back and the quantity. This shows how much rental is on them. So let us take this data from the list. So what all data we are taking? We are taking stock ID, due back and quantity. So the customer number is nothing but it's a details regarding the customer. So that is one thing. So from where do we get the customer details? So let us write it in this way. This is the data that we are going to fetch. That is customer. So from this generated list, you're going to get the customer number. So now from the customer, what all you will be getting? You will be from this customer number. What all you will be getting? You will be definitely getting the name and the address. So that you will be getting from the list. So what all you will be getting? You will be getting name and address. And then you also got regarding the renters. And now we need to check how much she owns. How much is nothing but the stock, how much stock she owns. So for that, you need to have a stock item. For the stock item, you need to have a stock ID. And then stock ID, what all it will get you, it's gonna get you the description and the unit price of it. So from this list, you need the stock item. So from this list, what all you will be getting? With the stock item, you will be getting the description of that stock based on its ID and the unit price of it. That's your data flow for the scenario explained. A company is developing a digital learning device for a child aged 3 to 5 years. The device has a plastic case and a screen. It has printed circuits board inside the case. The increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere due to the energy production is one negative environmental impact of constructing digital devices. Explain other negative environmental impact of constructing digital devices. So the one impact is already given here. So one thing is the groundwater will get polluted because whatever the waste water from the chip production is that is released without any treatment. So that you can consider as the another negative impact. The increased level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere due to energy production is one negative environmental impact of disposal of digital device. Explain one other negative environmental impact of disposal of digital devices. So now if you dispose these digital devices in the environment, what impact exactly happens? So the land and the water will get contaminated because these devices consist of chemical batteries or PCBs if they are disposed into the landfill or if you dump it. Or sometimes the air will also get polluted, a fire may start, oceans also will get contaminated. So you can pick any one of them and go for it. The learning devices for a child aged 3 to 5 is a dedicated computer, not a general purpose computer. The design of the device is not yet finalized. Evaluate the benefits and drawback of including a variety of digital technologies in the device. So you can consider the use of biometrics, the use of touchscreens, the amount of memory, the amount of secondary storage, the power source, the use of miniaturization. So for this question, you just explained each and every bullet point. That's worth 2 marks. So you will end up getting the 12 marks. Or else you can also do it in this way. Write 2 points for each. Then you will be getting 12 marks. You can do it in that way or write 1 point that's worth 2 marks. So let us start the first one with the biometrics. So now you need to explain the benefits and the drawback of using the biometrics. So these biometrics are basically used for the security purposes. So it is not necessary to include them in the child's device. So one benefit is like this biometric recognition parents can use it to control the screen time of the child. Next, we have to write regarding the touchscreen. It is complicated for a child to use a keyboard. So, if there is a touchscreen, even a small one, it is very useful for a child to use the keyboard. And also, child will be familiar with the swiping motion because as they use the phone, so it is easy for them to use this system. Next is regarding the amount of memory. This computer is provided to the child for the learning purpose. So, whatever the learning applications that are aimed at the child, they don't have a big program. So, if it is not a big, then it doesn't require a lot of memory. And the OS, whatever the OS is nothing but the operating system, whatever is running in the learning device, it has only few tasks to perform. So that doesn't require a large amount of memory. So you can write these two parts. Okay, the next one is regarding the amount of secondary storage. So, amount of secondary storage depends on how much applications you're storing on the device. So, that may vary across the time. So, little storage means you can only have a fewer applications in the system. So, only the parent should have access to install the applications on the device, and the same parent can also have an access to delete the old applications if any room is required. So, small amount of secondary storage is more than enough in a child's device. Next one is regarding the power source. So we know that the child will be very active in this system. So battery is really required to support the bootability. So if you're providing only the main power, it won't be suitable because you know that the child will not sit at the same place for the very long time. So you can include these 2 points. Next one is use of miniaturization. Miniaturization is nothing but the size of the device. So size of the device should be in a smallest format because you know that the child's hands are small, and also the child will not be able to pick up the heavy components. So smaller the components will weigh less. If you don't understand my handwriting, I have dashed the answer keys. You can download the file from the description as well as the question paper is attached. So all the best. If you have any doubts, please do comment. I will definitely respond. So if you like this video, please do like, subscribe and share if you also want to pass.